It is time for one of our favorite games here on The Jump. Something, nothing, or everything.
Every team.
First up is Luke Walton, who is upset with a number of calls that he felt did not go the way they should have last night. He openly criticized the officials. He will be fined, we predict here. Take a listen.
And I wasn't going to say anything because I was going to save my money, but I just can't anymore. I watched the play where I got a technical foul on. Watch what happened to LeBron James's arm. It's the same thing that James Harden and Chris Paul shot 30 free throws on us the night before. Let's not reward people for flopping 30 feet from the hole on plays that have nothing to do with that possession.
So yeah, he'll be fine.
This is something. You know, I've been saying that. I was watching that Lakers game against the Rockets, and if you look at it, CP and James gets away with a lot of stuff on that basketball court. Yeah. And a lot of that really escalated to why Brandon Ingram was so frustrated because he felt like, you know, these guys are lowering their shoulders. If you go back to the Western Conference Finals last year, how CP was lowering his shoulder against Steph and those guys, they always get those calls. At some point, you're going to be frustrated. LeBron is not getting these calls. For somebody that drives the ball, his game is predicated on driving the basketball, and he doesn't shoot free throws as much as guys shooting jumpers and threes like James Harden, these guys. It's a travesty.
I think it's also something because I never think this ever works as far as getting more calls, but it works in terms of letting your locker room know I got your back, and I care, and also to keep them encouraged to keep going to the rim and not give up and say, well, they're not going to call on anything.
Well, best believe the league is on notice and the referees are on notice now. They're going to pay closer attention to this.
Right. I stopped by Luke's office after the game last night to chat about it. First of all, he was like, thanks a lot for bringing this back up. I just calmed down. So he was like legitimately heated. But Brian Shaw was in the room, and he said, it's the same thing as when he played with Shaq, and you were part of this in Phoenix with Shaq.
It's the hardest guy to officiate in the league.
The big guys and guys who were that dominant, the officials would keep telling the Lakers at the time, like, hey, you know, you can't miss how you felt, but didn't you find that with Shaq that the officials would say?
Absolutely with Shaq, because Shaq was either.
They would say, oh, he's too big.
Yeah, well,
and LeBron's heard that too, by the way.
And that the
You're
people
afraid train going to the basket.
Well, not only that, but people, like, in order for people to make an impact, they got to hit you hard, right?
So I get that. I get what they're saying. But you see how James Harden ran over Brandon Ingram? You see how CP ran over Rondo? It's the same thing LeBron is doing. Yeah. Same exact thing.
Smaller. Scoring, very up, way up. Extremely up around the league. This is partly the result of the enforcement of the freedom of movement rules in full effect. Not only are guys getting to the basket easier, but then there's also more fouls being called on these freedom of movements, so then the free throws are up. Spurs-Lakers last night, 285 combined points. By the way, this is the highest scoring game LeBron has ever been a part of. Pace of play is, of course, up too, and that, again, all ties in together. So, guys, is this early season scoring boom something, nothing, or everything?
I think it's everything. I mean, the league wants more scoring, wants more offense. However, I don't want to get to a point where, yes, I know these guys are scoring 130, 140 points. That's cool. But I don't want to get to the point where we're missing out playing defense. Like, it just looks effortless on the defensive end, and these guys are easily scoring on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things. One, everyone's playing faster, right? That's new. Two, everyone's shooting more threes than they did a year ago. That's new, right? The free throws is a big deal, too. And then part of it is just, look, they're not going to call. You know this. Every start of the season, the rest say, hey, we're going to crack down on this. And that first month, we get all these free throw attempts. And then by February, none of that happens anymore. And by playoffs, we're wrestling all over again. So I think all of these things are kind of got to take it, give it some time to play out. But the one thing that won't change is that people are shooting more threes. And that's every year we've seen it's going up and going up and going up. And we used to have, but there'd be a couple of teams that weren't about that life. Now everyone's about that life. And so the scoring will go up.